Welcome to the Golf Simulator interview series. I'm your host, Greg Sheffield. Many of you have been watching via the Golf Simulator Higher End Facebook group. For those of you that are page members, just a reminder, we have some great page partners that offer you a discount, a variety of golf simulator items. We also offer a consulting program. If you want help finding a reliable vendor, or if you want to go the DIY route, but need some professional help answering a few questions, we offer that too. So I'll put a couple links in the comments on that. But we'll go ahead and get started with the interview. So today we'd like to welcome Jakob Munk. He is the head of product for indoor golf at Trackman. So welcome, Jakob. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
This morning for me and late in the evening for you, huh? Or late in the afternoon, I guess, huh?
Afternoon, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
So we always kind of start these with just a little bit of your golf background. So are you a golfer?
I am, yeah. I played
Okay.
golf since I was 13 years old, and it's just I put all other sports on the shelf when I hit that ball right in the center the first time. No, it's
Nice,
very
nice.
addictive.
So what's your handicap? I want an indoor and an outdoor one.
Yeah, there's a little bit of difference. Outdoors, I'm about a 4, 4, 5. I hover around that, and indoors, it's around 0. Right now, it's
Okay.
point 0.4, point 0.5, or something like that.
0.4, 0.5. Okay. And then how long have you been in the golf sim industry?
I joined Trackman in 2018. I've, like I said, been playing golf for a long time, and during my, my golf career, so to speak, I practiced a lot with the previous Trackman tech. So I knew a little bit about Trackman, but never really understood the company in depth until somebody made me aware of there was a great link between my, educational background. I'm an industrial design engineer, so I've been working with industrial design, physical design of objects, and engineering for many years. And that's kind of a good background to have when you want to develop a golf product, a golf sim product here, because there's a little bit of software, a little bit of hardware, a little bit of everything. So it was like the perfect combination of the two worlds that met here in my job
Yeah.
here.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me a little bit about the history of TrackMan. Just give me kind of how it got
Yeah.
started, what you know of it. Obviously, look, you've been there for a long time. I mean, 2018 is pretty long in the indoor golf industry. I got you
It is.
beat, but 17 years by, but there's not many out here as long as me.
No. Yeah. So the company started. Actually, two brothers got the initial idea that led to what Trackman is today. One brother is still working CEO in the company, and his brother is our board of directors lead, and a third guy, Frederick Tuxen, who is maybe known to a lot of people on your channel here. He was the engineer that these two brothers brought on board. Back in 2003, they established the company. Frederick Tuxen came from a missile tracking background, working with radar technology, being able to track even small bullets across, several hundreds of kilometers, led to the conclusion from the three of them that if we can track a small bullet at very, very high speed, we must be able to track a golf ball at, relatively speaking, slower speeds.
Right.
And the two brothers both were on the national team in Denmark for the golf team, so they played elite golf for many, many years, and sort of had the vision. Why can't we put some numbers on what the ball does, so we can like we did all of us did in the back in the day before technology was here. We just looked at the ball, and we had a coach next to us who looked at the ball flight, and we sort of estimated how long it was and what the trajectory did all on the way, and we just made our assumptions based on that. But as soon as they got the idea to put some data on the ball tracking and actually, providing some insights that we didn't have before tech in golf, it changed the game completely. So now it's an intricate part of the game. But actually, on the Trackman side, at least, it started back in 2003. So, relatively speaking, a very long time ago.
Right. And yeah, very long. And man, I'll tell you, opening my first indoor center in '01, the technology, I mean, the way TrackMan tracked the ball to start out with, I mean, it wasn't even close with everything else around because everything else was kind of at that point video gamey. There wasn't anything that was giving you real tracking.
Yeah, exactly. And by the
So
way, the two brothers and the engineer Frederick, they're still the owners of the company, so it's still privately held by the same founders.
right,
20 some years later. It's
nice.
great.
Wow. That's which is saying a lot. So for people that don't know this industry, like these companies get get bought up and sold over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, that
So
happens frequently for sure.
that
Yeah,
yeah, that's saying a lot for sure.
yeah.
So Trackman obviously has a couple different launch monitors. So let's just kind of talk through those, real briefly. What are the options that clients would have?
Yeah, so in 2016, we introduced the Trackman 4, the fourth of the launch monitors. That is a portable launch monitor standing a few feet behind every player. Works both indoors and outdoors. Uh, Came from an outdoor optimized scenario that also was made over time to work properly indoors, but had its limitations. If we look at the current hero of the indoor game, which is the Trackman IO. IO stands for indoor optimized, and this was the first product where we actually took an indoor environment as the sort of the foundation for the development of the actual product. So this was never designed to be portable, hence the ceiling mounted technology here, and hence us using camera and radar technology in an indoor environment from a fixed ceiling position. So those are the two main tracking devices we have, and the IO comes in both a light license and a full license that we can come back to at a later point. But that's
Okay.
basically it. And then in addition to that, we of course have Trackman range products for like bigger range installations where you track all balls from all the bays in an outdoor range environment. And then we have our broadcast product. That's basically the main technology platform we have in the golf industry at least.
Right. Right. And then obviously, yeah, you guys get into some baseball too. I'm big into baseball here in Texas, and you see a
Yeah,
lot of TrackMans on in the stadiums there. So
yeah.
talk a little bit about, you kind of briefly touched on it. So that's one of the things I want to kind of talk about is that IO, because I think one of the things that's most misunderstood about it is everybody thinks it's just pure camera. That's not exactly it. So give everyone the idea on exactly how the IO tracks the golf ball.
Correct. Yeah. So the Trackman 4, if we just briefly go back to the Trackman 4, that was primarily a radar unit that we actually adopted over time and perfected over time to also utilize the built-in camera to do what we refer to as OERT, optically enhanced radar tracking. That's our internal term, invented by engineers, by the way. I'm an engineer, so I can say that. Um, but we really see the benefit of having both radar and vision tracking at our disposal, and so much so that we insisted on adopting that into the IO unit when we did the scoping of that unit. Radar is really great for tracking in depth. Ball speed, it assists the vision tracking with information that helps the vision tracking better determine spin rate, other measurements that we are taking in the space after the ball impact is actually, the club delivery has happened. So the radar looks actually into the bay, but the camera is looking down at the impact area, and that's where you get, for those who've tried the IO, you get this little slow motion video of your club delivery and overlays and whatnot. So it is a combination of vision tracking for the actual tee area and then radar tracking in the sim space in front of the player, so to speak. And those two combined work really well.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. And I know you're set up to kind of share your screen, and I know you briefly talked about this, and let's not worry about the pricing. That's stuff that, clients can talk to salespeople about. But give me just a little option of, because obviously there's two different tiers that you can do with TrackMan with regards to, the software, what they can do. So kind of talk a little bit about that, the different options, and then obviously let's go ahead and share your screen and kind of walk everyone through give them a little quick demo of the software.
Absolutely. So yeah, we have two price points. One is tailored mostly to the private amateurs, the typical DIY garage golfer or sim in the basement type of deal, where you just want some entertainment, some basic entertainment that is both golf, some games, some online activity, and that sort of thing, where you're not heavy duty into the hardcore advanced practice tools that we offer. In our world, it's called shot analysis with 3D motion analysis and body tracking and all kinds of techie stuff. That's maybe a little bit overdoing it for a lot of people in the private space. So we've made like a license bundle that is for that private amateur that just wants a little bit of entertainment for the family. And then we have the full shebang with everything included. So the full menu with all features that we have, where you constantly get updates all the time. So those are the two different models we work with on IO.
And then to be clear, if they start with like the home model and they get into it, they start practicing a lot, they can call and say, "Hey, you know what? I want to go and upgrade to get
Yeah.
everything." Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime you can upgrade, of course, yes.
Okay. Why don't
So
you, show us a little bit, go through the software a little bit there.
yeah. So this is the main landing screen that you would get to if you were in a sim facility or in a private amateur home with the full license unlocked. So we have some main cards on the menu here. We try to make it as simple to navigate as possible, because there's a lot of people who are, once a year into the commercial sim space and just want to quickly get to it. It's not everybody who owns their own sim,
And they're very
unfortunately.
technically challenged. I can tell you that as somebody that
Sometimes, yeah.
dealt with them for 17 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you've been around to see
Yes. I've
how
seen
little it
four
takes to
guys.
actually get caught.
I've seen four guys crowded around a
Yeah,
touchscreen for 5 minutes trying to figure things out.
that happens even for some internal people as well when they get onboarded. But anyway, so these are the main entry points, and I can go through each of them, not in great detail, but just overall. So under practice, we have a number of features that are practice for the pros, for the really good players, but also some simplified practice tools. There's a little bit of everything. Courses is, of course, all about virtual golf play and the entire course library of close to 600 courses now. Competitions covers both local, global competitions and tournaments and leagues as well. So we have that under competitions. Under games, if we continue up to the upper right, we have both skill games and entertainment games. I can also cover that. And we have online, where you can connect with friends and play live peer-to-peer. And then the last one is a promotion we've introduced a few months ago, where we're so heavily involved with DP World Tour, Live Golf, and LPGA that we can actually make events where you sort of play against the pros. I'll also speak a little bit about that. But let me start on the practice here. So when I started in Trackman in 2018, it was fairly recent that we acquired what was or used to be called Jack Nicklaus Perfect Golf. It was a standalone PC game that we acquired the company. Everybody on the team is still with us, even after all those years. And we turned that into a Trackman virtual golf engine. And currently we are on the third generation of that engine. So that's a bit of background. Having acquired that game studio, which was based on Unity, we've now had the opportunity over the years to introduce Unity-based practice tools more than in the past, where we only had shot analysis, which is a Windows.NET program. And with that, shot analysis is very techy. I'll open that in a second. But the most used feature that we have right now for simple, private home practice is the range. It's a very simple range with a nice desert backdrop. If I continue here and just add a guest, I can just start the practice. And as it loads here, the reason why we've made this was in the past, shot analysis we got the feedback from the market that it's a little bit over complicating things for people who just want to go in there and work on their game or warm up or things like that. Having a simple target to aim for or things of that nature. So here's a small range that we see being adopted more and more. And if I I have a little cheat code here, so I can hit a shot. I have a circle out here where I can just aim for the center of the circle, And everybody wants something to aim for, and there's a little visual feedback on the left side. If I hit it inside the circle over here, I get a little green check mark, and my target is now to hit as many inside the target as possible here. I can change to any data tile that I want, and you can do that across all the applications that we have. Choose which target you want, or which data tile you want to see. You can change different parameters here, but we are deliberately keeping it fairly simple in this feature here.
Right.
And then if we want to go out and see under practice shot analysis, I can continue with the guest player here. Let's just do a 5 hybrid. Here we are in a more heavy duty area where we can do all kinds of stuff configured with different cameras and do body tracking and compare my swing to Tour Pro swings and all kinds of stuff here. So this is really the workbench of the teaching pro typically, or the more advanced self-practice drills that you want to go for. Obviously, you can also you can map your bag and see your mapped dispersions and gapping through your bag. I'll come back to that on the VG side, why that is important. You can go on course practice, so any course in the entire library, you can actually drop a ball anywhere on any hole and just practice from there. Great if you have your home course rendered here, and we all have that hole we're struggling with.
Right.
Great feature, sort of.
Those are all 18 for me these days.
Oh yeah. 27 in my case.
Yeah.
We have Performance Center, which is hugely popular at the moment, especially among the tour pros. They also have access to this on the apps, on the iOS app. This is a kind of a drill where you can design your own drills. Let's say a tour pro is struggling strokes gained wise between 100 and 150 yards. These guys can then set up drills that is tailored to actually set them up in different virtual situations within that gapping. You can choose customized pins or randomized pin, and for every shot you hit, you can actually load a new situation with a new green layout and a new pin position. So within that gap between 100 and 150, let's say, we can load you for hours and hours with different scenarios, different pin positions for you to really find where you can improve your game and change that strokes gain number to a more positive one. So this is great, and we are investing more in this feature.
And then real quick, Jakob, that everybody can see that QR code up there. So if they've got a page, they can or if they've got an account, they just scan that, and then all this practice and all that stuff goes kind of into their account, correct?
Yes. So I can quickly go here. So I don't know if you can see it, but here I have my phone right here. If I just scan the QR code, it's now connecting. I'm not sure it's picking it up, and now I'm logged in, and on the screen you can see I'm logged in here. So it's really convenient to log in, and you're correct.
I mean, that's awesome especially from a commercial standpoint.
Oh yeah. You want to, once your time starts, you're on the clock and you want to get started as fast as possible. Where you can also sort of set your round up before you actually enter. So as soon as you log in, it pops up and you can just start the round that you already agreed with your playing partners to play. And then post round, because we know who you are, we share everything to the cloud and make that visible through the app, so you can see your round reports, and every shot you hit gets data points and all that stuff. And we sort of collect statistics across all your rounds to show you some game insights. And this whole area it's really one where we are investing a little bit more in the future to provide more insights into your actual personal game.
And if they just showed up at a commercial location, they would be able to get all that stuff through the app too, correct?
Yes. All it takes is we just need to know your name, your player name, and an email address, and you can fill in the rest later on. But it's fairly quick to set up, and we really recommend it because we know what we're building for the people who actually have a profile. There's so much coming in the roadmap the next coming years here, and we really urge people to start using it and familiarize themselves with it, because it's going to be so much value to you as a golfer in the near future. It already is, but it's going to be even more valuable.
Right.
All right, just to finish this off, the target practice area is the last one I'm missing here. This is basically an open playground. This is one of the first features I got made when I joined. 18 different targets, 18 different pins, long, narrow fairways, all the way down to little chip shots. You can just basically practice any shot in this open environment. And we see a lot of people just enjoying themselves here. There's a lot of difference between just practicing body movement and impact and all that kind of stuff, and then being set up in a situation where you actually have to apply that in a real situation with wind from the right and water on the left, or whatever is the situation.
Right.
It's a different thing, and that's what we all want. All right, so that was practice on the courses. We have Virtual Golf 3. We can definitely see, since we moved to that graphical engine, most players tend to go towards the Virtual Golf 3. It has better graphics than Virtual Golf 2, and some more features there. So we can definitely see that this is really where people tend to open courses from. And like I said, we have close to 600 courses now. Of those 600, close to 200 of them are now in Virtual Golf 3. We continue to convert a few courses every month from Virtual Golf 2 to Virtual Golf 3. And then we add more and more courses every single month. We add more than between 5 and 10 courses every month to the library. So it just keeps growing really, really fast.
Okay.
But the whole navigation here is fairly simple. You can jump through the different tags up here. This is an interesting one where we have featured the Sunday setup, where you can actually play the championship at Jumeirah for the DP World Tour. Every single year is played at the Jumeirah site in Dubai, and we've copied the tees and the pin setup, so you can actually play the course as it was set up during the finals and see if you can beat Rory and all the other guys.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, and I don't know if I should.
Show us the course. Just show us the course real quick.
I'll do that. Let's do Bannon Dunes, one of my favorites. So let me just remove this player, and I'm in here. Takes a few seconds to load, obviously. While it loads, I can explain that we have our own course design team here in Trackman headquarters and around the world. They're located. We have 15, 16 people who are full-time employees. Their main job is only to build golf courses, and the process starts with us sending out drones and scanning every corner of all the courses here that we sign contracts with. And we get the LiDAR data back to our design team, and combining that with hundreds of pictures from each course and each hole. The design team spend about a month, maybe a month and a half on the bigger ones on every course, fine-tuning every detail.
Nice. Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. So let me pull up this little cheat code again. So here we are on the first hole at Bandon. We have bottom left here, we have my lie indicator. I can see how far I have to my target, what's the elevation change, and depending on the lie here, I would see power damage or spin damage down here. I can see, because I'm logged in and I've mapped my bag, I can see how far I hit my driver. I'm in meters here, so this is my typical carry and total yardages. And that is actually also displayed over here on the mini map, which I can maximize here to make it more evident. So now, and I think this is really cool, I can see my dispersion coming from my mapped bag. We bring that into VG and overlay it on the course, and I can actually see maybe it's a better shot from the tee to aim here with my 3-wood. That's my dispersion of the 3-wood, versus me bombing a driver here and taking those bunkers into play. So it's actually very much directly linked to the bag, the way that you play VG now.
So this is telling you every time you hit your 3-wood, you hit it left?
I'm a little bit left of target, yes, correct.
We should play together, Jakob. We'd save a lot in cart gas.
It's a deal. Let's do a scramble together. That might work out really well.
I've never seen the right side of a golf course in my life.
Oh, I have. I see a little bit of everything. So this is the pretty version of my game on screen here. There's an ugly version of it, obviously, but I don't want to show that. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And if I just launch my little AI cheat shot here, this would be a typical rendered shot as you would see it. And now you can see on the left in a second, once it comes to rest, I hit the fairway, I'm 60 meters out, and now I can see I'm still in the fairway, so I still have power and spin at 100%. It chooses my 58 degree, which I hit full shot. Stock shot is 75 for me. That's the recommendation, even though I only have 60 meters here. But again, if I open up the mini map here, I can see my full shot dispersion is up here, so I can sort of find out that this is probably a 75% 58 degree for me.
Right.
Next phase, we are looking into how can we actually add a caddy layer on top of this that actually gives you some advice here, but more on that later on.
And any hecklers in the future?
Crowds is a wonderful thing in many aspects, but building that into PC or into the sim software here is a little more complicated than you think. It's all about rendering and speed and graphics, GPU. A little bit of side note on the I/O as we watch this nice little hole out that I did with my cheat code. On I/O, we're actually utilizing the PC, the gaming PC that all sims have for the actual rendering of the shots. So there's no processing on the I/O unit. We do that on the PC. Which allows us to build more capacity into the PC as we develop the technology more and more. If you switch to a bigger GPU in the future, you would maybe benefit even more than you do today. But I do want to say that if you are out there and have already bought a PC, maybe even a couple of years ago, that P is still the foundation that we aim for whenever we do new software. So at least that's kind of the foundational technology setup that we develop our software to be tailored to.
Right. And right now, what the suggestion is the 5070 or above, correct?
Correct. 5070 Ti is
TI,
the
TI.
TI. Yeah, it has to be the TI, and that has to do with the data transfer is a little bit faster on the TI.
Right.
True.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
So
yeah, let's show. I think do you have anything else you want to show on the software?
we can go on for hours. So I'll follow your lead, Greg.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that gives everybody kind of a really good idea of that. So I think one of the other cool things that Trackman does is just from a commercial standpoint, just a back end. It's obviously online booking, all that stuff has been, hugely popular and huge growth. So let's talk a little bit about what Trackman offers from the portal standpoint.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just share my screen again and maybe pull the portal over here. 1 second. Do you see the view of the portal now?
Yep.
Good. Good stuff.
I'm gonna move
this. This is an internal facility that we have to play around with. So you're going to see a lot of test things and all kinds of stuff that's behind the scenes. But this is actually a sample of what you would see if you had your own facility. This website here. So commercial facilities would have access to this as part of their software subscription. Private amateurs don't have access to this. This is a kind of a professional tool that's part of your professional subscription. But taking it, I'm not going to go through everything, but a landing page here that tells you some of the big parts. Tournaments is where you set up these tournaments in your local facility. It can be an ongoing season-long, FedEx Cup style tournament, or it can be single closer to the pin tournaments. It can be game tournaments, all of the above. But it can also be a league where you kind of sign up for a season-long league and collect points and all that stuff. So basically, that's all under tournaments. Control room is an area where I'm in what we call the sales sim. If I click on this one, I can get access to more information about the sales sim here. And for operations out there, it's really important to see how things are doing. Is there anything I can do better? And in this bay, actually, I can see that it's been far too long since I restarted my radar in the ceiling. So from here, I can actually restart my radar, or I can renew my software subscription, or I can install Windows updates. I would be alerted with all kinds of maintenance stuff that I would need to do to run a stable operation. So that's something that we've added fairly recently. So it's of course important for our commercial customers to have a stable running setup, and we've been working hard to accommodate that with all kinds of new features. You can sign up your coaches in your facility if you have teaching coaches. Here's where you go and set up your leagues and tournaments. You can find scorecards that have been, any visitor to your facility would get. You can find your scorecard in here even a week ago or a month ago. You can actually backtrack and find the scorecard and print it out if you wanted to hang it on your wall. Info screens is sort of, if you have a big gigantic screen over the bar or somewhere, you can actually display your leaderboards from the tournaments that you're actually arranging, or you can promote your burger of the week or something on those info screens. So that's built in here, simply shared via a small URL that we generate. So everything is kind of flowing through the cloud and updates automatically. Sponsor campaigns is something that's underutilized, I think. So you can upload a sponsor logo here and have that apply inside the game. So top left, while you're playing virtual golf, you can actually see who's actually the sponsor of the week, for example, or sponsor of this bay or this particular course. There's lots of granularity to that, and it's a lot of venues use this tool to actually finance the running subscription or something like that every year. It really evens out nicely.
One of the things I used to do, I had, I think it was about the second year for my golf leagues, I partnered with a travel agent at the time, and they gave 2 golf trips that I gave away for my golf leagues, and they just got some advertising in the place. So this is obviously a perfect extra money for commercial guys, and great way to generate prizes and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right there, part of the whole package. I skipped the booking and payment side, by the way. So that's the only thing that requires an extra subscription in this world here. But this is basically hooked up with an app as well, and you can basically complete the journey from looking up a Trackman facility and booking a bay through that whole gateway. And the facility manager would see this view in the portal and see, in this bay we have a couple of bookings, and I can do anything I would want here. I can send messages to the bays. I can lock the bays. I can remote manage my facility from this portal here. We see a lot of facilities that are remotely and unmanned popping up everywhere. So this tool, this gateway, is really important for the ecosystem.
Yep.
Analytics, Power BI analytics with insights to anything that happens in your facility, anything that you would want to see. Let's see, if you want to see most played courses in this facility, in this bay that I'm in right now, it's London Gardens, the little par 3 that we did a year ago or so. Cabot Cliffs is up there, but I can just flip through anything that I would want to get insights into and really make wise and data backed decisions for my facility. I can optimize, let's see, bay occupation. This is like an internal bay, so it doesn't look really well. But here you would see a heat map of the most utilized hours of the day and see, okay, where should I optimize to get more bookings in? Maybe in the morning hours. Maybe I can do some extra promotion in the morning hours or lower my prices or things like that. So we really try to offer a full data suite that allows a professional operator to make wise choices.
Right. Yeah, that's great data to have. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So this very quick rundown of what you can in the facility portal here. And we have news feed, and where all the information that you would want as an operator to get directly from Trackman feeds into this flow here.
Nice. Yeah, it's so, when people are opening these indoor centers, there's so much to consider and so much to do, just to have it like, hey, it's just, all here you go, ready to roll, just have at it. It's a really nice benefit.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm double screen and I get in the background too, huh?
That was my bad.
So, no, you're good. So obviously Trackman's got a big following on tour. What type of feedback do you get from those tour players, and what are they using it mostly for?
Like I said, the performance center is really utilized quite a bit. These tour players like to really work on the parts of the game where they can see they're struggling most, and this performance center really gives them that tool that they've been longing for a long time. So that's definitely when they're in their grind mode on the range. This is what we see them working on with their coaches mostly. Um, Apart from that, verifying their data, verifying their carry data, bringing it to an elevated an event where you're playing at elevation or different temperatures, humidity changes, and all that stuff. So they're really using the Trackman 4 data to verify the numbers that they know from a certain setup. How do these shots actually carry out in this scenario? And then thirdly, they also bring the Trackman 4 on the course to also look at spin rates, for example, from the rough in different lies, and how does the ball react if I hit it from these and these turf lies, because the grass types and the humidity and everything plays into the actual numbers. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
It's that's just insane to my mind. And I could play a little bit in my day, but man, oh man, to to be looking at that data so precisely is just amazing that those guys are that good. That's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
they have no stop button. It's just
Yeah.
insane how deep they can go. And sometimes we have a direct call with our CTO, Frederick, one of the founders, who is on a call with some of the tour players who are complaining about a spin rate that they feel is maybe fractions of percentages off relative to what they would think. And then we go deep into it and we find the data and we take the log files and I mean, sometimes a little funny anecdote. One of the better tour players actually complained a little bit about the spin rate. We maxed out at a certain level, and he had a tendency to hit really spinny shots that would actually blow the scale. So we actually increased the ceiling and we reworked our algorithms to actually make the ceiling higher to accommodate for this specific tour player's spin rates, which was just insane. He had a
Interesting.
spin rates above 12,000 RPMs with wedges from 80 meters.
Wow.
That's yeah, so little fun anecdote.
Oh man. So tell me a little bit about, like, obviously look, Trackman comes with a cost, right? It's not the cheapest launch monitor. So tell me why. What's the biggest selling point? Why should people be making the decision to buy Trackman?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it, and we don't hide behind the fact that we are premium, and we really we go a long way to make it the most perfect setup that we can possibly deliver to the market. We take pride in being the ones that actually try to push the envelope as much as possible. We do have 1,100 employees in the company now. Back in 2018, when I joined, we were about 200 people in the company. So, I mean, we're growing really, really fast. It went from very much outdoor pro focused to now being mostly driven by the indoor wave that we all
Yeah,
benefit from. It's just incredible to see. So we have a lot of engineers. We have about 450 engineers now, or 450 people in headquarters in Denmark, and at least half of them are in engineering. So there's a lot of staff that work every single day when they punch in and punch out. It's all about improving the software experience and making better games or better practice features and a new golf app and portal features. That is all part of the software subscription that we charge out there. So yeah, premium comes at a cost, of course. We still do all our production right here. It's about a chip shot from me. They do the production. Every single unit is produced here by hand in our assembly line, and every single one is put up into a calibration board with robots that is looking at different calibration screens and all kinds of measuring devices to optimize it down to the last millimeter. So of course that comes at a cost, being
sure.
so determined towards quality and everything.
Yeah, paying 200 plus engineers comes with a fee. But again, I mean, that's what I tell clients all the time is look, the bottom line is, it depends what you want out of a sim. And obviously, TrackMan's not for everybody. but neither is Foresight or Skytrack or Square or all the other ones out there. I mean, really, it's about finding the best fit. And ultimately,
It is.
again, look, I think all you've got to do is go out to a tour event and you see who's got the best numbers. And because those guys, to your point, I mean, the guy complaining that the spin rates are, this much off, obviously those guys are, gonna pick the best of the best. And there's nobody in the world that knows better than them what the golf
Exactly.
ball's doing, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we love being challenged by not only tour players, but everyday golfers. They also complain about things that are not exactly what they would like, and we go a long way to listening to customer feedback, and take action based on customer feedback. We really try to listen as much as we can. I go traveling quite a bit. There's a lot of people from the software development side that go traveling and meet customers and experience pain points firsthand to bring it back to the teams here and try to accommodate those. So yeah, it's of course a costly thing to run it that way, but that's how we choose to do it.
Right, right. So anything new coming to TrackMan that you're willing, able to share?
I can answer the first part. Yes, there's a lot of new stuff coming
Okay.
to Trackman, that's for sure, with all those engineers working. Um, yeah, it's a little bit limited what I can say. We're all working towards the target of the PGA show, of course, as one of the
Right.
next big milestones. There's a lot being revealed at the PGA show that I can't talk about here, but it's great. I mean, we are actually looking at the navigation that I just showed you here. That whole navigation is going to be much more personalized. So think of Netflix, but in a TrackMan world. The streaming services look more or less alike. We are all accustomed to the streaming services, the way that these streaming services can customize the UI based on who is logged in or whose profile we're looking at. So imagine that in a TrackMan context as well, where we know Greg Sheffield likes to play these types of links courses, let's say. So maybe you would also like to play these courses. And based on your past history, where we can see you have a tendency to hook the ball left,
Yeah.
maybe these are the practice drills you would want to play and go through to improve your game, and so on and so on. So
Can you
personalizing
just
the
can you build a course for me that's all dogleg lefts?
You got it. Yeah. Just going around the circles. Yeah,
That's
I
right.
like
That's
that.
perfect. Yeah, a
I'll
big
go the other way around.
like a NASCAR track. Exactly.
Hey, let's do it.
So obviously, look, I kind of mentioned I started this in 2001, and I'll tell you, my first indoor center, like I had full swing golf sims, and at the time, like I could rotate the screen all the way to the left, hit in the left corner, and hit like a 90-degree hook. And looking back on the graphics, like it's just it's hilarious where we are now. So where do we go next? Like honestly, it's so
Yeah.
good now. What's the next steps? What are we seeing in the next 10 years that's not available now?
It's a really good question. I mean, I wish I had that crystal ball, but what we believe here is that we are. I mean, we're trying to delete all the walls in a sim. At least figuratively speaking. So once you turn on your sim, it should actually feel as if we were basically turning off the walls and you're standing right there in the outdoor environment. It's all about immersiveness, and immersiveness not only in the graphics detail, because that has a limit to how immersive can it get. So we're actually Trackman is on a journey right now where we are kind of utilizing the floor space a little bit more. We're now integrating with Zen swing states, for example, so you can actually, if you have a sim and you have space and finances to acquire a Zen swing states as well, you can actually have your floor move as you play VG, so you get a little more true to life lie in the actual physical space and not only in the in the virtual golf world. And that's just the first step into the 3D space. Taking the 2D experience into a 3D experience will create a more immersive experience, and I think that's the next frontier that we're all going to be venturing into.
Yeah. So you obviously, you guys, you kind of mentioned when you started in 2018, you had 200 employees. Now you have 1,100. I mean, obviously it's taken a huge jump. So, obviously everybody knows COVID, kind of kick the golf sim world into kind of overdrive. But what else? What are you guys seeing that's driving all this excitement in the indoor golf space?
Well, for sure, it comes. It was accelerated by COVID, as you say, and we can definitely see in all the reports. It's just the younger generation has really picked up on golf. Golf is cool again.
Yeah.
Or again, has it ever been really cool? I don't know, but
It was
right
cool
now,
for a while when Tiger was killing it.
oh, true, that's true. The Tiger effect definitely
Yeah.
made its impact. Yeah, but golf is cool. I mean, the younger generation, they don't look at on golf as I did when I grew up playing golf. People were saying, "Oh, what kind of game is that? That's for old people," and that whole notion is no longer here. It's really fun. It's really cool, and there's a lot of elements that contribute to that situation. I mean, you know. Range technology has been there for a while. Top Golf should get a lot of credit for what they've done to kind of
Yeah.
democratize access to golf, and all these sim facilities around the world, the 5 irons or the big chains around the world. They all have really something that is attractive to the younger generation, maybe in particular. It's a fun, loose environment. You see music on the golf courses. We all, drive around carts with a little bit of music playing, maybe a couple of beers in the back, enjoying the game in a more sort of, I don't know, yeah, shoulders down way instead of being so buttoned up as
Right.
it used to be in golf. So that all helps. And then of course YouTube, good guys or whoever is making an effort to really make golf enjoyable to watch on YouTube or other platforms. That helps a lot as well. I mean, the younger generation learns how to play golf on YouTube first and
Yeah.
foremost, and then they come out to a green grass coach somewhere, and this coach has to fix whatever was not maybe correct.
Yeah.
But the more the merrier to the game. We're all in for it. I mean, it doesn't matter to us how you get into the game. We just want to bring as many people into the game as possible. And I think, simulators and range technology has a really important role to play there also in the future.
Yeah, I'm a PGA member, and so going through the PGA schooling, the obviously the motto is grow the game, grow the game, grow the game. And to your point,
Yeah,
Topgolf did a great job of that, and the simulator places too. Because I mean, the bottom line is, look, you bring four new players on a golf course on Saturday afternoon, they never played golf. It's going to be a miserable experience for them if they go into a
exactly.
space with a sim or go to Topgolf. It gets them in. I can't tell you how many guys I had that would start coming into my place to play. Where I was, my first indoor center, I was kind of in a city, but the surrounding area was a bunch of farmers. And, those guys worked all summer, so they didn't really play a lot, but they would come in my place in
Mhm.
the winter, drink beers, watch sports, play golf. And so many of those guys ended up becoming like outdoor golfers. So, it's been
Right.
going a long time and it's really cool now, especially because you've got that younger generation, to your point, that kind of grew up playing, video games and
Yeah.
online stuff. And so this is kind of, I don't think they're as concerned about, I think you're starting to see the seasonality of it starting to
Yeah.
change too,
Yeah.
which obviously is going to be good for all of us in this
Yeah.
industry for sure.
Yeah. And then outdoor golf is great. I mean, you can be out there in nature for a few hours with your good friends, but we're also living in a world where everything is time constrained, and
Yep.
we all have busy calendars, and the factor that you can go in and play 18 holes in a couple of hours instead of 6 hours from you leave to you get home also plays into this whole success of indoor golf. Now the technology is so mature that it's actually close enough to being a real round of golf to play a simulator round. We definitely see that really sparking an interest everywhere.
Yeah.
Technology had to kind of mature a little bit over the last couple of decades.
Yeah, I always joke that non-golfing spouses always cost me money from a sales standpoint, but the reality is they're the ones that are driving a lot of this indoor golf because man, can I go sell 2 hours on an indoor center versus 6 hours on the course? Yeah, that's a much easier sell on the home front for sure.
That's true. Yeah,
So yeah,
it all
that definitely
balances out.
plays into it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, obviously, we kind of talked a little bit about like these unmanned centers and indoor locations are popping up, and I'm taking call after call after call about indoor centers. How much more room is there? Are we going to get to a point where it's, just too many out there?
depends a little bit on with which eyes you're looking and what which area of the world. I mean, I will say that in some areas of the world, maybe the growth has been too aggressive, and that needs to balance out. Maybe the demand has not exactly been where the growth was in the industry, but we think we're only scratching the surface. I mean, the whole commercial sim space is such a big, you know, growth engine for us, and we don't see that stopping anytime soon. On the contrary, it's really fun to be part of this journey, and we can just see for every year where we improve our software ecosystem, as we call it, we just attract more and more players to the ecosystem. So everything is growing pretty steadily as we invest in all these new features and functionalities. So it's a long-winded answer, but I think we're still seeing the start of this whole thing.
Yeah, and the reality is too is, I mean, look, before I did the indoor centers, I was on the green grass side of things, and I was at some busy courses, and man, on a Saturday we would do over 300 rounds, and I mean, heck, if you got 10 simulators and you're open for 15 hours in the day, that's 150 rounds of golf. That's not even half of one Saturday at one busy golf course. So to
Yeah,
me, I think there's a lot of room, but what I do see and what I do always suggest to clients is, look, if you're going to do this, you got to do it right. You
yeah,
can't, I see so many guys go with really low end technology. I mean, you can't do something. I mean, you can't open a business and go with crap to be honest. Like you've got to give them, something good that they're not necessarily going to be able to get at home and get that definitely better experience.
yeah.
Which obviously Trackman, falls into that category for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, obviously, we believe the same thing, that the customers will go to where the setup, the technology is the best, both in terms of accuracy, but also the graphics experience and the whole software suite. Uh, but not only that, it's also the atmosphere of the facility and how well it's advertised in the local community and connected in the local community, and where we see sometimes where utilization is a little bit lower than the owner would expect. Uh, it helps with our sales reps being in dialogue with these owners and trying to help them, run the business a little bit with typical advice that would help, attract more customers. So you don't just open the facility and lean back and just wait for customers to come in. You got to be active and really think your opening strategy through well from day one. It's difficult to open a facility without a strategy and then find your strategy as you see numbers maybe going in a negative direction. It's
Yeah.
much better to really dig deep and go for a good strategy from day one. And yes, I would always advise to not underinvest in the technology setup, whether it's Trackman or others in the industry. It's just a better business decision to go with a good setup.
Right. So tell me, obviously this is the last question because I've kept you here a long time, but good info. Um, AI, obviously that's going to play a part in golf simulators. So where do you see that, in the future? I mean, how much is that going to benefit the golf simulator world?
A lot, and it has done on our side at least for a good number of years. I mean, it was if you consider AI not only LLMs but machine learning and all kinds of behind the scenes stuff. We've been working with that for many years, ever since I joined and before as well. So we have a lot of that. We have big AI and machine learning departments here. So it's already built deep into our product solution, but it's just going to escalate from here. I just think that the way that we look at it here is it's going to be helpful tools that will help us achieve visions and targets even faster than we would in the past. So AI in a consumer layer has more to do in our world, at least with an AI caddy, like I explained before. AI analysis of your data, your insights. We have 3D motion analysis has a lot to do with AI in background. It's actually AI detection of all the moving parts. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but we're all about being markerless here at Trackman. So no markers on the ball or the club, or no stickers or anything. And that goes to 3D motion as well, body tracking without any markers on your body. And that requires a lot of AI to be able to detect all these motions. So yeah, it's actually an intricate part of our daily development here, and it's just going to escalate, like I said.
Yeah, continue to go and go and go.
Oh,
Okay, well,
absolutely.
great, Jacob. Anything else that we didn't cover? Obviously, we talked a lot of stuff here. Anything else that we should let people know about?
If you have another 3 hours, I could continue going, but maybe let's leave it here. Just want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. It was great.
Yeah, appreciate the time. I'm glad we got you on. I'm sure there's a lot of guys out here that are going to find this very useful. So really appreciate your time. Now go clock out, have a drink. I got to work the rest of the day.
Well, enjoy that. Thanks a
All
lot,
right,
Greg.
thanks, Jacob.
Take care.